This video is titled Honoring Dr. Linkwood Williams, a Legacy of Education and Culture in Orange Mound. In Orange Mound and at the Orange Mound News Network, we're dedicated to preserving and celebrating the rich history and culture of our community. Our location at 1035 Sims in Orange Mound was also called the Safari House Museum Education and Cultural Center. While this location is our home, we are also an institution for culture and education. Our Orange Mound home is the most African home in America, whereas we once upon a time would have tours and cultural events at our house, whereas our home was the first tourist destination in Orange Mound, whereas Memphis tourism would not support our efforts, whereas we no longer do tours. However, we continue to be an educational and cultural center, whereas we launched this location, the first digital Black Memphis History Museum, via cinema called blackmemphishistory.com. Via today, we're launching the Orange Mound News Network via a historic video honoring the remarkable late Dr. Linkwood Williams, a distinguished Tuskegee Airman and the first African American OB-GYN in Memphis. The late Dr. Linkwood Williams. You see, in 2008, we had the privilege of honoring Dr. Williams at our home at the Safari House Museum and Education System Center with Memphis Congressman Steve Cohen presenting a proclamation. This event not only celebrated Dr. Williams' contribution, but also showcased our home as a hub for education and culture events. Our work in Orange Mound goes beyond news reporting. We are historians, educators, and community activists committed to changing the narrative and the image of our neighborhood. Dr. Williams, born in 1918, lived through significant periods of American history. As a Tuskegee Airman and flight instructor, his legacy is enshrined in the Smithsonian Museum. Despite his remarkable achievements, Dr. Williams was a humble man who contributed greatly to our community by providing work and opportunities to other black men in Orange Mound. His story is a testament to the resilience and dedication of individuals who helped shape our history. Re-releasing a new video in context about Orange Mound and Dr. Williams' contributions allows us to educate and inspire our audience. Our goal is to emphasize the importance of education and cultural preservation in our community. By documenting and sharing these stories, we not only honor the past, but also educate future generations about the rich heritage of Orange Mound. The Orange Mound News Network is more than a news outlet. It is a cultural movement aimed at preserving and promoting black culture and history. We invite you to join us in celebrating the legacy of the late Dr. Linkwood Williams and the impact of our educational efforts in Orange Mound. Through our videos and content, we continue to tell stories that matter, shaping a positive narrative for our community and beyond. In 2012, the movie Red Tails premiered, telling the story of the famed World War II Tuskegee Airman. Unknown and untold, a Tuskegee Airman was in Orange Mound, the great Dr. Linkwood Williams. We at Orange Mound News Network recorded Dr. Williams and we share his story as part of our creative content.
Mayday! Prepare to bail out!
I was born in a little town in Louisiana by the name of B-O-N-I-T-A.
Boys getting cut to shreds.
I think, now I'm not sure, but I think it's somewhere near another town that you might have, a city, whatever, you might have heard of, called Monroe, Louisiana.
When we came under your command, you stated very.
But see, I left there when I think that I was about 3 years old.
Make it through flight.
I never lived there. I went to visit but my parents all left and we went to a little town, Madison, Illinois. I told him that I was a Tuskegee Airman instructor. And see, the combat, I saw no combat. All my time spent at Tuskegee. Now it's kind of amazing to some people. Now where we got into this instructor thing. See, we had a whole group of, as you see in some of the books I got, we had a whole group of
Do you get us new planes?
black instructors that were not, we were in reserve, but we had got started flying through a government sponsored program. I don't know whether you ever heard of a CPT program. Have you ever heard of that CPT program? That was a civilian pilot training program. This was something that I'm told, I didn't know all of this at the time, but this is a program that got started to train so they would have, should the meteor rise, they would have a pool of pilots to draw from for the military. You understand? UT program? Yeah, they trained us. Yeah, they wanted to train us. They wanted to get us ready to train others. You understand? It's kind of a long story. I can give you a little more detail about that. See, as I said, well, first of all, I put it this way. I won't get too detailed in, but see, in Japan, they were kind of flexing their muscles at the time, and I think the United States government felt that pretty soon we would understand. So the government started a program, some 200 schools. At first, blacks weren't even included in that program. This program, this CPT program, was just like I told you, it was primarily for the purpose of providing a reservoir pool of pilots, as it were, that could easily be converted into military duty should the need arise.
I met Dr. Linkwood Williams through Miss Dale Crane. I worked for her. She lived in Whitehaven. And I had a condition, and she had a doctor that she stayed on black. And so what she did, she found Dr. Linkwood Williams in 1970. He was moved to over and a puppy. I set up infection and had to come in every day because I wouldn't let him reoperate. And he would get up and, in my tummy, get a lot of that other excess poison. I'm very caring doctor.
I don't know, you might have heard of some of them. I think the first black pilots we had that were licensed in the United States, they got training in a foreign country. Did you know that? In France, that's absolutely right. Bessie Coleman and I think Eugene Bullock was. I think they were the first two to become licensed in the United States. And but anyway, they finally relented. Once that day, the federal government finally relented and decided, told this pressure that was being brought to bear, that they would allow blacks into this program. Now they had some 200-something schools and not a black school in it. And so when they did that, of course, they allowed 6 black schools to enter into the CPT program. That was Tuskegee, Hampton, Howard, West Virginia State, North Carolina A&T, and Delaware State. That's 6. Heard that before? Yeah. Did you know that they were designed to fail? And just like you all saw the movie, I'm sure. Well, there was supposed to have been a study that was done at some higher class university that came to the conclusion that blacks just were not physically able to fly military aircraft. You see, they didn't. They said something. They talking about something about your makeup. your blood vessels to your brain and all that crap, you understand? In the water, we learn to do everything that you can do with an airplane. We spun it, we stalled it, we did snap rolls, we did L-run rolls, slow rolls, hesitation rolls, chandelles, Immelmans, you name it, lazy eights, pylon eights, you call it. If it can be done with an airplane, we could do it. I don't say that boastfully, just the way it was. And we did real well. The Tuskegee contingent did real well with that. So we did well in ground school, and we did well in the practical part of it. And I think that impressed some people, but the military still didn't want us to fly. Anyway, you finished that course. Incidentally, Chappie James, I know you heard of Chappie James. Chappie James and I, we flew that course together. We went through CPT together. You got this picture of that. And Benjamin Davis, who was, became the first commanding officer of black fighter pilots. He was working at Tuskegee when all this got started. He had finished West Point in '36, I believe it was, and he spent a little time at Fort Riley, I believe it was, and also at Fort Benning. And then he came and took over the position that his father, Benjamin Sr., once held at Tuskegee. He's like a commandant of cadets, you know. And I always have to almost like apologize when I say this, but I'm just telling you like it was. When they got through with us, we could fly. There was no question about it. If you didn't see, that was an experience that I guess I had much trouble with takeoff and land as in the beginning as anybody. Because you see in the airplane you guide in your plane on the ground, you guiding with your rudder pedals, and that thing, it just, you got to really get the hang of it. I know one time Chappie James and I, we were having little problems with it, Well, Chappie had got it, I hadn't got it yet, as far as the takeoff and that. He said, well, I tell you what, Linkwood, you know what, I just lying in the bed the other night and I just thought about that thing, and now I got it down. And he went on out there and did it too. And when we got through with all the three phases of the CPT program, see, first we had a private pilot's license, then in the end we got a commercial pilot's license, and an instructor rating. CPT, this act was initiated that would have a fighter unit with the Army Air Force, but there again, I say we didn't have a place to train, so that's how Tuskegee Airfield came into being. You see, because we didn't have a field, they just weren't integrated then. See, so Miss Roosevelt came down there. I was on the field when she came down there. Miss Roosevelt, that was Franklin's wife, President Franklin Roosevelt's wife. I was in there. Of course, she didn't fly with that student like they show in the movie. No, she didn't fly with us. She flew with a guy by the name of Anderson, Charles Alfred, and they call him Chief Anderson. You ever heard of Chief Anderson? He is a big wheel down there with in the primary program, and she wasn't even at the base when that happened. This was at the CPT field, but the movie didn't show it like that, which is all right. But I was out and I had to fly myself that morning, and I saw Chief. I saw when they came up, and she went up with Chief Anderson on the north-south runway. And looking right at it when they took off, and she took over the campus, and then they came back, And she did a lot, I'm told, to help the program really get off the ground. You understand? I don't know if she had anything to do with the CPT or not, but there's a lot of, and I always like to give credit when I'm talking, when I'm making little talks at various places, I would like to give credit to the people behind the scenes that were doing tremendous jobs. But I didn't know that. I didn't know it then. But that's the way it was. They just would not take no for an answer as far as what this study had showed you. That backs just can't fly. But the first class that we put out down there, the first class graduated, it had less than 50% of the guys that started to finish, you know. I think it started with 13 and 5 finished.
You mean they dropped out of the program?
They put them out.
Put them out?
They got them out, you know, they got them out, you know, by hook or crook, I guess you'd say. Harris was a pretty decent guy, you know. He was, I think he did a lot to help some of that crap that they were putting down disappear, and some of the other white instructors. It really, see now Chappie James was an instructor too. I got a book that Chappie and myself in the CPT program, we sang side by side, got our names down there. And he was, but he wanted to, and some of the rest of the guys too, they wanted to get into combat, you know, to combat, which is understandable. There's several guys. I was among some of the guys that went to you know, just kind of feel not the right combat, but they didn't just say couldn't do it. But they discouraged it because well, you know, they give you all this whatever. That's how necessary you are in what you're doing. You know? And I accept that. I thought the speech that Benjamin Davis gave to that, you know, you saw the movie, did you? You saw it too. Did you see it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the speech that Benjamin Davis gave him, I thought that was just outstanding. I thought that was a classic. See, how can you? He said, now how can we shoot down guys that we can't even see? If you're not putting us in a situation where we're going to run into them, how can we shoot any of them down? But he just sank this destroyer, Pruitt and Pearson. I knew those guys real well. Mm-hmm. Well, it's three of us really. We had an airplane.
Pretty hard to resist doing that.
Yeah, yeah. And we went to this little CT field, you know, civilian field, and when one Sunday, you know, we could do proficiency flights anytime we got ready. We not put students in there, and so three of us got boy Steve Walsh out of North Carolina, and Charles Young out of Ohio, and me. And I was a senior pilot in this thing, you know. So I caught them and said, well, here's what happened. We decided we took off from this little field. We broke out of traffic. Got up about 500 feet, I say. And then decided I was leading the thing, see. And they both of them on one on each wing, and they just did what I did. And so we came down and buzzed this little operation booth that I was telling you about, you know. And it so happened that the director of training from our field he had a secretary. He was flying her one Sunday, you know, and they took the numbers on our plane. And next couple of days, we got a letter each. Said they knew who was flying what plane when, and so we had to go before this committee, discipline committee. You know, they fined us, but they gave me the biggest fine, you know, because I was the senior pilot in the group. And I think Benjamin Davis did a good job of telling the guys, you know, overseas. You know, he had you know, he's a West Point graduate. You knew that, I suppose. And he had a level head because he had experienced a lot of this crappy stuff at West Point. You know, he went to. I'm told he went there 4 years and nobody even spoke to him. The records show that I think we trained something, all told, something like that. This doesn't mean that's how many cadets came through there. There's a whole lot more came through that made it out of there. You understand that? I think we trained close to 1,000. I mean, Richard, you have to think of it as just like it is. Now there's some. And I don't want to sound offensive with this, but you know, there are some that not going to change. Really, only death is going to do away with them. That's just a natural fact. There's some people right here now, in this late stage, you know, of civil rights to this and that. Some of them just not going to change. They're going to have to die out. Now, one thing that I can just jump on right away. There's not a single Tuskegee Airman that I'm aware of that was able to crash into commercial aviation. Original Tuskegee Airmen. No, they just didn't take. There was effort being made to get them into.
But still, it was just the process. The military had with the civilians.
Just didn't do it. The commercial airlines just didn't do it. Now, if you all know some of them if you know some of them that did, then you can tell them. You can let me know because I don't know. I don't know anything, but according to the best information that I have, not a single Tuskegee Airman was able to break into civilian, commercial aviation. Now, I don't take that as gospel, but I haven't seen any other Tuskegee Airmen that knew of any that got any original Tuskegee Airmen. I'm talking about the original Tuskegee Airmen. Now,